it's Ella here from Agnes Ruby Studio. Hope you're doing well today, guys. I've just got my 2021 planner lineup to show you. I've also got my December journal in here, so I'll show you that, and I'll show you what I do with these a little bit later on. So this is the first time I've used a traveler's notebook size for the standard size traveler's notebook for my planner. So I'm quite excited about it because I figured out that I really like making lists, and the traveler's notebook is such a great size for lists, isn't it? And I love the look of them, and I've made quite a few traveler's notebook size for gifts and things, but I haven't used it as a planner yet. Usually I use like an A5 style, and over the years I've tried all sorts of planners. The last couple of years I've used Erin Condren, I've used the Bullet Journal, Lectern Journal, and I've also used the Hobonichi. The cover is made from an old Valance. Somebody donated that to the Plastic Bag Free Cambridge people, and I made a few bags for them out of it, and then I got to keep a little bit extra. And so I've got a little bit of this stuff to use, and I've been wanting to use it ever since I saw it. I just fell in love with the fabric, and I'm just such a texture person. I love feeling all this lovely different texture. Moving along, let's go inside. So this is a button closure, and that is just a hair tie on the back, and I learnt how to do that from Ephemera's Vintage Garden a long time ago, and I really like it for my planner because I don't have to, it's very easy to untie, and I don't have anything hanging off for when I want to put it in my bag to take to work. So that's why I like that. And then I've got a pocket in the front, fabric sewn on, so it's nice and strong, and just a little bit of scrappy collage there. This is a tag that I've put in there for a pen board. So when I've got something to write and I'll get more bulky as I go along, I can take that out just to give a little bit of extra smoothness as I'm writing. Yeah, so I'll show you that in a bit, the actual journal, but in the back of the cover I've also got another pocket, and I haven't sewn these in, I haven't put an elastic, I will, but I decided that I was going to try it just for a while without any elastics like the traveler's notebooks have, because I am super lazy and I wanted it to just be able to get it, put it aside, take that and write in it, and then put it back and then snap it shut. I don't want to have to be pulling it in and out of the elastics, but I probably will be putting some more pieces in here that I will want in there permanently, so I will be putting in the elastics later on. So let's look at what I've got inside. So I've got in the back pocket, I have made one of these scrappy notepads, and that is out of some Tim Holtz packaging on the back of the wallflower paper pad, I think. And I just grabbed all my scrappy bits, sort of chop them up very randomly, and then I've got those to pull out should I decide to add something that I want to rip out and take with me to another journal, or maybe do some collage with it, or things like that. So I put some eyelets in there to sew it together because it was too big, it was too thick to put through the sewing machine. So just leave that in there. And also these pockets are quite strong, so I will be able to put my pens in there. And then I'm going to show you this one last because I'll tell you why later. So this one here, I got this beautiful vintage wallpaper. It's the first real vintage wallpaper that I've been able to buy. And I'm quite excited because you know how people say vintage and really they mean retro. I mean, retro to me is the 70s and vintage is before that. So when you're looking up vintage wallpaper, it's quite hard to find. But anyway, I found this, and this is just a little bit on the end that was super aged. So I decided to use that for my own journal. And I've got some washi down the side just to reinforce it because it's quite old and fragile. And then I just lined it with some scrapbook paper, sewed on some lace, and then I've left all of this quite plain because this is just for taking notes. I'll probably be taking notes for ideas for my YouTube. And so this is all just some plain paper. That's some of my experimenting with my gel plate. Some scrapbook paper that I didn't really have a use for, so I shoved it in there. And then this is all just music paper because I wanted the lines. So very, very plain. But I will probably decorate it as well because I can't help it because that's what I've become. So here we go. That's just the notebook that sits in the back. And then I've got my December. It's not a December daily because I'm not going to be journaling daily. That's not really me. But I am going to be using this as my planner for the month of December, and a little bit of journaling, maybe decorating, maybe quotes, that sort of thing, just for December. Now I went to see a friend that I met on Junk Journal Junkies Down Under, Junk Journal Junksters Down Under, and she just inspired me so much to do my December as a monthly. And before that I had been contemplating just the right plan, and as soon as I saw her monthly journals I was just set. It was just the final what do you call it, the final nail that I needed to just seal the deal, and got on with it. And yeah, I'm just so happy that I saw her journals. So, and her journal was sent to her from a pen friend, and they do swaps. Very cool. Very cool idea. Anyway, so some of the inspiration for the setup of this is taken from those journals. So thanks, Nikki. And then, yeah, so the journal itself is just made from scrapbook paper and little bits and pieces. This is coming off. I'm going to have to re-glue that. And yeah, so this is scrapbook paper that I used to make for card making back in my Stampin' Up days, and I've still got bits and pieces, not enough to do a great big lot of cards, so I just kind of have it sitting there to use up really. And then little bits of scrap. This is a little bit of sari, not scrap because I purposely cut that, but the rest of it's all kind of scrappy. And this was a old Christmas card. We don't have very many Christmas cards being sent to us these days, but that was from my cousin Kelly in America. So yeah, I'll remember that she gave it to me, so that's cute. And then I've just put a Tim Holtz word charm thingy. What do they call them? Words escape me. You know what I mean. The Tim Holtz word charm. And I've just put that on there, and I can move it around, but if I move it there, it kind of goes over the little head. Anyway, and then I made this charm, and I made that out of a bead from my from my great-grandmother. And I've got one of her sort of, they call them junk jewellery, and I've had it sitting in a little container because the string broke, and I'm not much of a jeweler, so I never fixed it. So I finally sort of thought, well, I'll just test out these little beads on a charm, and it was green, so it went with the theme, so I put it on there. And then I made my first successful ruffle. I've tried ruffles before, but this one seemed to work really, really well. And then I've kind of tucked that in there for now till I find a more permanent place. And that is a napkin envelope, and I've just put this little thing around it, and I've just put some little bits and pieces in there that I may use for decorating the journal as I go along. So that's just some scrappy stuff. This is an old die cut, something I've probably pulled off a card, a little piece probably from my friend Gloria, and then some of that napkin left over, and just, you know, just little bits and pieces that I have decided I may use to decorate. And I will pull out more as I go along. I may need to make some more envelopes for that. Anyway, that's just tucked in there for now. This is just a die cut, not Christmassy, but the colour goes. And I've put a vintage button on the tab here. And then over here on each tab is a week. So that's how I've done it. These are very, very old, coming up 20-year-old stickers that I've had all that time and not used. Back in the day, I used to be a creative memories consultant, so I have quite a few old stickers and things to use up. And the great thing about creative memories, if you guys are into scrapbooking, creative memories still to this day is very, very good quality. So I've still been able to use these stickers. They work perfectly on the tea-dyed paper. I love them. Just thought I'd use them. And so I've used all the numbers up now, I think, that I had in this colour tone. So that was cool. And then this idea with the glitter washi tape was straight from Nikki's friend's swap journal. So copied that straight off of her. And then, so each week I've got 1 week. That's all I need. I don't really do a lot of my work planning in paper. I do that on my computer at work. But for my personal life planning, and now I'm starting to have to do a bit more YouTube planning, I'll do that in here, and a little bit of journaling. So then I left a space, a whole page for decorating or list making. Also remembering with this style of journaling, you can tip in whenever you need more space. So 1 page was certainly enough. Then I've got a little bit of this trim sari stuff. Actually, that's sari stuff. No, that is from the, that sari is from the wool shop. And all of these little sari pieces are from Sheila at Boho Daydreams, one of her packs. And I've got one of Tim Holt's charms here again. It says Hope. And then the next week with the same format. And then another page that I've left blank with just a little, it's just got that little scrap there. A little tag I made with the other piece of the Christmas card. This is wrapping paper that I've saved. Another piece of sari. And then another week, and then another blank page, and it's just a little tabby thing. I'll probably may sew it to the page, because the other good thing about this size of notebook is that you can easily take it to your sewing machine and sew it if you want, if you've forgotten to add something or you want to add something, because it's quite thin. So yeah, I'll be able to add some sewing until it gets more chunky. And then that's the other side of that wrapping paper, and then I've got a little fabric tip-in, and that the colours just seem to go with Christmas, so I thought put it in. By the way, guys, this is very bright for me at the moment. I'm loving the more vintage tones, but yeah, very red and bright green for Christmas this year. So then I've got the blank page, and I kind of mucked that up because look, I've got 2 blank pages and then I had to put the last week of December. Oh no, I've got one more week, and then I've got, that's an old Stampin' Up charm too, because somebody gave it to me as a thank you gift as a key ring, so I've put that on there. And this charm here is a piece of power that I used to have hanging up on my windscreen, my rear vision mirror in my car, and that just reminds me of the beach and Nelson, where I'm from. So I put that there just to remind me that Christmas in New Zealand isn't about snow, even though I kind of tend to gravitate towards snow and snowflakes when I do Christmas decorating. But Christmas in New Zealand and Australia, of course, is about sun and beaches and swimming and barbecues and things like that. So that just is Christmas to us here in New Zealand is summer. So that's just a little ode to summer. And then another week, and then that page that I just showed you already, and then here it is. So there we've got the last week, or the second to last week, and then I've got this children's book page. And this is a tag that a friend of mine gave me, and I've just kept it. Now I've put it there in the journal. Now I'll be able to keep it, so that's cool, instead of letting it hang around in my bits of boxes. I've got plenty of bits of boxes now. I need to go through them and use the stuff. And then I just sort of made this little flippy flap thing out of the children's book page, and I've got a little bow clip on this little tag, and this was from a long Christmas a few years ago from my mother-in-law and one of her friends that she knows through her church makes those, so she bought them off her to add for Christmas, and I've never thrown it away. So there it goes, it's got a home. And then so I should have had this week here, back there, but it's ended up on here, so luckily there was only 4 days and it just fitted in, so that was lucky. And then here I've got a tag that I have also made out of a Christmas card. And I tell a lie, I told you that Christmas card was from my cousin Kelly. It was this one. Yep, so that's nice, I've got that. So that's a piece of sari from Sheila's packs as well. Really nice. And then on the back I just did the collage. I think I already showed you that because that's coming off, and that's a piece of washi tape that says celebrate. So I'll need to glue that down. And then let me show you this. This is very different for me, very different. So I'm during my journey of getting less perfectionist and getting messy to try and find my art style, I started watching Gina from the Rebookery channel, and she makes these wonderful planners and altered books and altered cookbooks and things. She does an amazing job, so look up Gina. And she literally just puts her pen out and writes on the book page as it is, even if it's got colours and writing and things. And I thought, oh my goodness, could I really do that? I don't think I could do that. But I decided I will take that idea and do it loosely, because bearing in mind my background is accounting, right? And if you look back on my Instagram to my early cards, they're like all measured and all perfect, and junk journaling has been a journey for me, a really good journey. But this style of making my planner is a big deal for me. So hopefully it doesn't look like a little kid did it, and hopefully it will develop over the year as well. It'll get more doodles and things like that to make it a little bit more pretty and maybe more collage. Anyway, so this is just Tim Holtz paper. I've covered it, put some lace down the side, and then I used some of my maths grid paper. It's super thin, so I stopped using it to put in journals, and so I doubled it over to make this planner. So this is my yearly month at a view, month at a glance planner for the year. So yeah, so for the I'll have it like this. This will be my year, this will be my month, which will change every month, and this will be my notebook, and which I will fill and have to make more as I go as well. So back to the year planner. I'm just so nervous to show you. Yeah, it's super messy for me, super messy. So I've got a plain page here that I can add to, and then I have just, without a ruler, without a pen, without a ruler and without measuring, I obviously already had the grid to make it easier for myself, didn't I? But you know what I mean, I didn't do this with a ruler or anything, and I didn't print anything out. I just freehanded it right onto the page. And then when I had got sort of halfway through, I realized that I had started it upside down, and I needed to re-sew my pages because the cover was then not up the right way, and that bothered me. So I decided that I would just be lazy and do it quickly and sew it on my sewing machine down the middle of the signature, not realizing that I had it on the wrong stitch size, and I totally perforated all of the pages. Very annoying. I'd already done half of the decorating of the planner. So without wanting to do it all over again, bearing in mind that back in the old days, that's exactly what I would have done. I would have started all over again and wasted hours doing it all over again. So this is a big deal for me too. I didn't do it all over again. I decided I would live with it, and I just sellotaped down the middle of the signatures, down the middle of the pages with sellotape. So it may become a problem when I go to write on it, but for now, it's okay. I can always go over it with Sharpie, can't I? A thin Sharpie. Anyway, here we go. I've used the Edith Holden book, and I have pulled out all of the month words, and I've collaged them to create my titles. I've done an extra collage on this one with Tim Holtz layering pieces, the botanicals. And then on each one I've done a different sort of a thing and a different sort of a colour to go with the botanical that I used from the pack of Tim Holtz layering pieces. And this is my birthday, so glad it's got lots of space. This is my birthday month, so I should be having a little bit of extra journaling that month maybe. Who knows? Then we've got March, and that's some lace on that piece. And then April, so all the same sort of thing, a little bit of collaging going on for the titles, and then loosey-goosey freehanding it for the grid month things. May, June, need some more decorating here at some point. July, August, plain at the moment. Didn't know quite what to add yet, so I left it. September, kind of like that one. I really like that. I think that's my favourite. October and November, and then December. And I used some of the scrapbooking paper up here, and that was some stamping I did on the little piece there. And then I've got a plain page, and that's that. So that's how that goes. And hoping that I can do a flip through of December to show you how it goes at the end of December. Now I'll just quickly show you my other journals that I have. So this is just my notebook that I have in my handbag, and this has survived in my handbag for more than 2 years now. So I've just refilled it with some new pages, and I've given it a cover. Oh, upside down again. And I've just put a little piece of bee paper, because this is hexagon. Can you see that embossing in the paper there? That is some Tim Holtz, a really old pad that he used to have. Can't remember what it's called, but it's got all this embossing on it. And then I've just got some leftover scrappy papers in here, and I haven't sewed them in so that I can take them out if I need to, so I can just slip them out of there. And then here I've got a few things that I kind of keep that really need to be replaced, I suppose, but this is my pepeha. We took a Maori language course, and I keep this just in case I forget. Just in case I forget. It's there. I know it's there, so it's my safe place for that. And that goes in my handbag, and I usually have some measurements taken so that when I put them in there, so when I'm at the op shop, I kind of know my different sizes for my different journals and what will fit and what. And then this one is my new reference book that I've got on my craft table, and this one I let have a dangle because I don't mind the dingle dangle on this one. And this charm is a bead, and this was actually from a broken necklace. I didn't make that, so I just put that there. I've got the Tim Holtz charm noted. I've got a key. Not sure whether this is real vintage or not. No, I don't think so. But my friend Amanda gave me these beautiful keys that look like the old wind-up keys for clocks and pocket watch type stuff. And this charm I will always remember getting because that came from Mrs. Cog. She gave me a lovely bundle of, well, she didn't give it to me, I paid for it, but she gave me so many extras in that bundle that it just felt really special, so I love to keep that. That was one of the extra charms she gave me. This is a vintage button, and I made the textured card in the background on a tutorial. If you want to look that up, I'll pop the link below, and I've just layered that up with some fabric and a little stamped piece of paper left over from cutting my papers. And this is some vintage seam binding, and I just popped a button, same deal as Ephemera's Vintage Garden method, and I just wrapped my little piece of seam binding around the button, and then I just wrap it like this, tie it like that, and that's done. And then inside I've done the same thing with leaving these pages loose so that I can add and subtract as I need. And I've just put some tabs on here, and this is living by my craft table, like I said. And also, let me tell you, these are just hair ties. I haven't even needed to pop them through because this was really super hard to do because it's a hard cover. I had this cover because I made a little mini album for my mother-in-law years ago, and I completely mucked up the cover as far as mini albums go because I didn't leave enough gap in between there, but it's perfect for a junk journal, so I'm glad it's finally got a use. And then I experimented with this book sort of cloth, tea dyeing it, and it looked awful when I did it, but now I've sort of prettied it up and I'm quite happy with it. But anyway, so what I've got in here is some measurements for notebooks. I've got some tags at the moment, but everything in my old reference book I need to swap into here. So that's that one. And then the other journal that I have beside me usually all the time is just a traveller's notebook that I've been sticking stuff into. If I have something that I'm trying out, it's a good place to try things out. Pop them in a traveller's notebook size to see what they look like and if they fit and if the pockets work, etc. So there, I kind of have that. It's also getting quite chunky now, so it's good to sort of see how it fits in the covers. So I wonder how this will even fit in if I decided to add another. Okay, now that's getting lovely and chunky there. And the cover still works, so that's beautiful. Yeah, so that's it for now, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. See you at the end of December with I'll see you before then. But I will come back and show you my December flip through when I've finished December. Bye!